Hi guys, this is Stella from Ella's Ancient Ways Tarot coming to you from Colorado. So yes, I did make the move and I'm here. What did we do the last time that we were together or right before then was vote, right? The majority of us voted, and we had already discussed that there was going to be a lot of unrest. That's what I had seen, and that there was going to be the National Guard come out. Actually, I had told my husband this about a year ago, and I told him I didn't know, I didn't understand why I saw the National Guard coming out. And he didn't believe me when I told him COVID was going to be really bad. He told me that he had and I'm not pronouncing this correctly, so please bear with me, the Denangi, I believe that's the way you pronounce it, fever. I mean, this man got sick. I have a photo of him where he's thrown in bed where he looks like death, really, at death's door. And I can't believe that he, did not pass away, and that was in India. So his comment at the time back to me, when I told him that, COVID was going to be really bad, that it was going to take a lot of people home. He said, quote unquote, well, I got through that. In India we have really bad things like malaria, etc. So I think I can get through this myself. So I think that a lot of people feel that way, and I felt that way. And right now I'm a little bit panicky. I'm trying not to show it, but literally, not because of the unrest, although that's kind of crazy, but because for the first time since COVID began, I actually did have a very mild fever this morning of 91. And then right now I had 98.7, which is nothing but still. And I'm about to try to start a new job here, so I don't need this. But I did come in contact with a lot of people. The other thing is that a lot of people here in Colorado do not wear masks. They don't believe in it. I can see that. They don't have to tell me. I can see it because they blatantly go in and out of stores and they don't wear a mask. They come in and out of this extended stay, and half are wearing a mask and half are not. The nice gentleman in the front, because I wanted to talk to you guys, I'll sit back so you won't get the top of my head cut off there, wanted to mess with my phone because I told him I wasn't able to pick up the wireless, and he was like, it's your phone, can I touch it? And of course, being safe, I said, I apologize, but that's gonna be enough. And he just looked at me. I said, frankly, I'm in this hotel and I'm appalled because half are wearing their masks and half are not. So that in and of itself was scary enough, guys. I don't know what to say about anything else other than you get what you get, right? I mean, how are you going to not wear a mask and then you're going to complain about that you're getting COVID? Well, you got to wear your masks. You got to do your social distancing, and oh my God. Okay, so anyway, while I'm shuffling a little bit, because this is a brand new deck for my card dominancy, is the kitties. And so I'll be using that deck. I'll be using the top deck. Okay. And I will also be using the Archangel deck. But also I'm going to be using the Witch's Tarot deck. That's the AC if y'all can hear it. Sounds like a snowmobile or something is turning on. So I'm going to keep on shuffling this while I'm talking. Hope I don't lose y'all, because I know I look like death. I'm still a little bit tired. They say that the elevation, you can get elevation sickness. I can feel my heart at times, not my heart, but more or less like into my chest area and into my arms, want to kind of do something different, but then it comes down. The most that I have felt is my chest, like where for females, where your bra strap, your bra line, I'm sorry, underneath your breast, because that's where your rib line is. So that's the most that I have felt so far, where I guess my ribs are trying, my lungs are trying to expand, so my ribs are a little bit like having aches, but it hasn't been too bad, and I haven't felt like ill because of that. If you hear that I'm talking a little bit like monotone, that's because there's people next door, and the other thing is that this is what I'm dealing with right now. So I haven't used this yet, but I'm about to. For those of us that are Latin, you know, Vicks, cure-all, right? I literally had to buy Mucinex. No, I'm not doing an advertisement. And I'm thanking God that when I opened up my bag for my cards, HEB, I love you, that I had my allergy medicine. So, long story short, I'm going to look for the video while I'm talking. This is going to be a little bit long-winded. I hope that you guys will bear with me and indulge me. So, I was trying very hard to show you guys what I was looking at, because I was like, there's no way. Honestly, what I was seeing, I was telling myself, there's no way. There's no way I'm seeing it. And I kept telling myself that. There's no way I'm seeing what I'm seeing. So, long story short, back in 2017, I started noticing that when I would go outside, well, the moon was up, but it wasn't really up in its normal range. It was more like between the eastern and the southern sphere, right? And I was like, okay, well, that's just weird, because as a child, I don't remember it doing that. But I was like, okay, whatever. It's Muxnix. It doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. But then all of a sudden, back 2017, coming this way, this was the weird part was that I would get up and I would leave to go to work, and I would go to work by 6:30 in the morning. I'd be to work by 6:30 in the morning, and the moon was still up, again, between the eastern and the southern sphere, you know, of the sky, and I could see and I could see it, and I could see that the sun was rising at the same time, and I was like, am I in the twilight zone? What the heck is going on? Because it's not supposed to happen that way, right? Either the sun's up or the moon's up, but not both at the same time, because then that's, to me, I'm not an astrologer or astronomer, and I'm not a scientist, but to me, then that means that something's confused. Either the poles are confused, or we're not in Kansas anymore. Something's going on. Some Roswell crap is going on. I don't know. But I would see that every morning. So then I thought to myself, well, maybe I'm not seeing the moon. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's another planet, a satellite. I don't know. Right? But planets are usually circular, right? And let's see if I can get this, because it's the weirdest part. So I'm gonna play this because I want to make sure that I can substantiate, because I kept taking pictures, but in the picture, every time I took the picture, I was like, well, first of all, they don't allow you to post pictures for some reason, or I don't know how to post them anyway on YouTube. And then the other thing that kept occurring was that when I would take the photo to try to capture where the moon was, it would turn like a purple haze. If you look, that's blue. But when I would take the picture, it would be a purple haze. So I was like, okay, we can't use that. It's not gonna happen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can play this for you guys in front of the camera, so you can see what I'm seeing. Hey guys, so I just needed to make sure it was filming. Sorry for my nails. I wanted to film this, and I know I'm going to film the sun, so please bear with me. the sun is right there, okay? The sun is right there. And I just wanted to show you this beautiful mesa, right? It's gorgeous, right? I'm heading towards Colorado now. I'm leaving Dumas, Texas, and this is the last part of Texas, guys. And of course you can see my car. You can see the U-Haul. Now I'm showing you this side of the truck from the U-Haul because it's going into New Mexico already, this territory that I'm on, right? New Mexico. Okay. Like I said, I know it's crazy, and I don't expect you to believe me, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stop because I don't even believe this. I don't know if you can see that white speck above the white clouds.
Sorry, it's my
That's the damn moon. In the same level as the sun. This is in the south, I guess you could say.
now I can't see it, guys, because of the mirror.
And this is in the east. Now I know that it's like hard to see because
Oh my God,
it's
there it
right
is.
above the clouds,
Can you see it?
blending.
Not the big white one, but the one on your right side of your screen.
It's a dot. I literally stopped on the highway because I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. It's freaking crazy. I can't believe it that it's in the sky at the same time, visible to the naked eye. I mean, I've been seeing it since 2017, but not to the point to where it stays there. So I don't know if it's just a different level here in close to New Mexico or what, but I just couldn't believe it, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Love you. This is Ella from Ella's Ancient Ways Tarot, and I'm heading into New Mexico. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye.
So it's the part that was right above the light blue. Obviously not on the darker part because I don't even know what that was. It was probably my blouse or something. But that was really weird. I mean, it almost made me feel like I went into another dimension. Yeah, that's why I used the term Twilight Zone. It literally made me feel that way, like I was going into another dimension. It didn't, it felt weird. Like, why is that happening? Why is that happening? These things are stiff. These little kitty cats. Oh, God. Until I never use them, but sheesh, these gonna last me a good long time. Yeah, so that was really weird to have the sun and the moon. The other thing that kept happening was there were a lot of blackbirds throughout the whole trail, throughout the whole time I was driving. Like, I'm not gonna say they were for every mile, but like every hour or whatever, every other hour I would see blackbirds, and I was like, what the heck? That's really interesting. So I don't know what that was about, but I felt like I was being ushered in. I'm going to get to the reading in a minute. We're going to check in to see, you know, what overall energy is going on right now, because I don't know about you, but from what I'm seeing on TV, and then I was watching Wendy Williams, and I'm like, is Wendy Williams sick? Because she was literally, I could see her hands doing this and her body. And I was like, well, first of all, she seemed like a tough girl, so I don't understand why she was, you know, shaking. And the other thing was, she kept asking, you know, for the civil unrest to end already. So I don't know if she was scared, you know, because we can get scared, you know, things like this happen. We can get very scared. We can become frightened, you know, for the fact that there's no president right now. I mean, there is, but there isn't. And the other thing is that, like I'm not trying to be political, but like they stated, you know, he was sitting in his basement all that time. He didn't go out and do much public speaking or anything, but yet boom, 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 boom. I don't know if y'all noticed those different states just lit up like Biden, Biden, Biden. I was like, whoa, that was just weird. And it wouldn't move. They would call the states for Biden right away, but they would really like hesitate when it came to doing that for Trump, although that there were the same types of degrees, like 7 points or whatever. I was like, this is on. I mean, these people are in for a fight. And those were two things, right? The National Guard being called out and COVID. Well, the third and fourth thing that has occurred to me on a personal level was I don't know why I felt that I had to leave. Like I had an okay life. I had a good life. I didn't have a life that I felt like, oh my gosh, it's horrible. I did feel empty, of course, like I needed something more, like something more satisfying in my life, but I didn't feel like I had an awful life. Yes, even in Colorado. But literally I kept getting like the visions that I had from months back that I didn't understand and I didn't know how to interpret them. They were coming true before my eyes, from Dumas, Texas into Pueblo, Colorado. And then I went out today and I wanted to see how bad it was as far as the downtown area that they were talking about. And it's all boarded up. People are really bad here. I thought it was only in Oregon. No. People are just as radical when they want to be here as well. I'm not saying all Colorado's people are like that, but I'm saying the millennials that are leading this, they don't want any president, supposedly. That's what they're saying on the news. They were saying that they weren't for Biden, they weren't for Trump. They're claiming that they are I think they utilize the word reignable. They're not reignable. And so that they have their own world order or whatever, and that's what they are. That's who they are, and that's what they want to be. And nobody's going to stop them. So all downtown is boarded up. So, okay, why I'm bringing all of this up. I am a little tired, guys. I'm getting a sinus infection. I don't think it's COVID related. But this is the first time I've ever had fever at all. And the whole time COVID started. One, starting from Dumas this way, there was like dust storms. Like, it's very dusty coming from Dumas, Texas, which is the tail end of Texas. That's the last city in Texas. Coming that way. And then Pueblo was very dusty. And then coming into Colorado. Colorado was very dusty. And I didn't realize that. I guess because it's windy, I guess. But it's very dusty. So yeah, I feel like I have a sinus infection now, and I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I literally feel all the sinus pressure here. So I've got to get well fast. But why I'm bringing up that story is because one, I love everybody in the world. I don't have problems or issues with any nationality, religion, culture, whatever, except maybe two, but I'm not going to go into that. And that's only because they like to cut open babies, and then the other ones, they like to kill people in the name of their God. But other than that, I'm not going to talk about that. So, the first vision I had, which pertained to
this trip that was not planned, at least I didn't think it was. I kept telling my husband that it was me that needed to travel, so I thought that meant that I had to travel to where he was, and that he was not going to be traveling to America. So the first vision I had was there were like shanties almost, wall-to-wall shanties in this small town, and there was snow everywhere, and it was very industrial looking, very it almost looked like it could have been from the early 1900s, if not for the fact that it looked like almost coal mining. That's why I was like, okay, maybe it's, I don't know what this vision means, but whatever, okay, it'll make itself known when it does. It did. So all up and down Dumas, all up and down the last part of Texas, and especially in Dumas, and even into Colorado, it smells bad here. What I mean by that is the natural gas. You can smell it, because that's, I guess, something that they are very into, natural gas. So you can smell that in the air. Not everywhere, but as you're coming in, right? And so I was wanting to cry. I had never seen such poverty in Texas. I had never seen that kind of poverty. I mean, I had complained, and I had stated to people that I know that I felt that because of the region that I lived in, which is San Antonio, which is south part of Texas, southern part of Texas, that I felt that very much cheated out of wages because of the fact that people that could come in illegally would always be able to come in and be able to work under other people's papers or be paid under the table, and so our wages would always stay the same pretty much. I mean, our wages have stayed the same for like, I think 12 years, if I'm not mistaken. They just went up recently, but it was at $5.25 for the longest time. I think it was like 12 years. And so when I was moving to Colorado, that was an attraction to me, was that I'm going to be paid to do something that, in my opinion, is lesser work, less work. Not have to think out of the box as much, and I won't have to use my technical skills that I've normally used in other jobs where I've been paid comparably, but then this last job I was paid very low for my skills. And so I thought to myself, it'll be a good start for me, for one, right? But when I drove through those towns, both especially Dumas, and then into Pueblo, with all those houses, most of them were like dilapidated. I think that's a word, dilapidated. They were like, they didn't look like houses. They looked like something that you would maybe be rendered to demolish, because they were that bad. And so you could see the poverty, and I just wanted to cry my eyes out. So again, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why I had to see that. I don't even know why that was a vision I had to see first, how it pertains to me, in other words. But it does in some way, obviously, because I'm here and I had to go through those towns in order to get here. So the only thing I could think to take out of this is that was my Lord and my Lady, God, Goddess's way of saying, you need to be more grateful in your life. You need to be more grateful for the things that you get and the things that you have. People in general need to be more grateful for what we have, because it can always get worse. It can always get worse. So back to looking at downtown Denver, I mean, all the videos that I watched didn't prepare me. In San Antonio, people can tell you from San Antonio, we have a west side and then we have a deep west side. Well, I'm not from the deep west side, but I am from the west side. So I've seen poverty and then I've seen poverty. And then we have an east side and I've seen poverty. But this was probably at least 5 times to 10 worse poverty level than that. And I didn't think that Colorado had that. I had no idea. I had no idea. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm in a beautiful location. It's very industrious outside. Nothing but business parks all over the place. My friend that I'm, moved here to be with, she and her, I guess mate, we could call them, have a beautiful home in a really nice neighborhood, and I'm right around the corner from that, and I will be living right around the corner from all of that. But it just put things into different perspective for me as a human being. How if you're complaining about eating rice and beans, and then right outside my door now, just about not even 10 miles away, there's people that are living on the street, and I'm talking about real people living on the street. I'm not talking about people living on the street like in San Antonio, where yes, it's seen, but we have like Haven for Hope, and we have things like that, Sam's Ministry. I don't know if they have those things here or not, but there was tent city like in California. And my friend said it was because half of it was like that already, and the other half, it got worse as COVID forced people to lose their jobs. So I feel really bad for a lot of people right now. The second vision I had was months later after that other vision. In that vision, I thought I was in Europe somewhere, because I literally saw a canal. I literally saw that I was getting lost, that the streets, the way they wound, were making me get lost. And that happened to me today. When I went to go, because I'm in a different part of Colorado and in a subdivision of Denver. And so when I went into Denver, the GPS was telling me to turn here, turn there, because the streets wind and twist in such a weird way that it's turning you around. And the GPS, all it has to do is tell you to do a U-turn and you'll be fine. And instead of telling you that, it redirects you and tells you to go a mile out this way, and then you end up going somewhere else. And so I was getting lost and lost and lost. And in that course of getting lost, I literally went across churches, and the churches that I saw, within that same vision, I can remember seeing those churches. They're beautiful. They're cathedral, actually, for being on mountains, right? And I could remember that there was unrest during the time that I was having that vision. I could see a lot of unrest going on, but I didn't know why. And I could see that there were like waves of water, there were waves of illness, there was waves of people being hungry, and I didn't know why. But I could also see that there was a canal, and around the canal there were very elegant places, and there were very I was dressed very elegantly during that vision, and I didn't understand why or where I was. So I thought I was in the Netherlands because I've literally been there, and I stayed there for a week, so I know what it looks like. So I thought I was in Amsterdam in my vision. So I got it in my head that I was supposed to move to Amsterdam. Guess what? Downtown Denver has canals. And again, I got lost. So I kept going this way, and then I would try to find parking and go back that way. By the way, it's horrible to park downtown Denver. And then I would go this way, and then it would tell me to go back that way. And it was horrible, but it was weird because I didn't understand why there was so much unrest in my vision and why I was seeing all of that, right? And then here you go. Just last night, they started formulating downtown, and they were, putting all those boards on their doors, and it gets dark really early here. It's only 7 o'clock here, I think. Or let me see, actually my phone isn't programming itself. Actually, it's only 6 o'clock, but I'm extremely tired because I lost an hour. I would have been happier to have gained an hour. So anyway, so that was my first real taste of Denver, and it was weird because my visions lined up with Denver. The other vision I had, which I haven't haven't seen yet. So I've already seen the National Guard in many states, but I really feel like they're also, like I told my husband at that time, I told him I don't know why they're going to have to surround the White House. And so I think they're going to be around the White House because this is not going to clear up any day soon. I think it's going to be a while. I think that both sides deserve to know the reality, what people actually did vote for, and not just that all the votes were supposedly given to this person or that person. No. The votes need to be counted right, and so if that takes that people need to come and do it the correct way, then so be it. But what does that mean for us citizens? That means that we're going to see the National Guard in the streets, which is something we've never seen in our lifetime. So it's scary, right? So I ask you to just stay calm, stay home as much as you can. This may go on until January. But, if it was whatever side, I'm not going to even use the words. If this side deserves because they actually got all the votes, then that's the way it is. If this decides, if this is the way it's decided because all of the votes that were cast correctly, and this is the way it was, that's the way it goes. Now, two extremes are going to happen, but that's, I've been talking about that for a while, and so have a lot of astrologers been talking about the two extremes that can occur depending on, who wins. If my eldest sister wins, which would be Trump, and the people that know me know why I call Trump my eldest sister, because my eldest sister is a Gemini, and the eldest sister always wanted, she did a lot of beautiful things for people, but then she wouldn't do them for the right reasons. She wouldn't do it with a clean heart. She would do it so she could say she did it for you. Or we could have, on the other side, we could have hair sniffing, inappropriately touching, other stuff, magic that is very dark, be in power. And if you guys haven't really read Fahrenheit 451, and I'm talking about reading the actual book and not watching the movie. I'm not sure if it's that compatible. They may have taken some of the stuff out, but if you want to take 451 Fahrenheit and just watch the movie, so be it. Do it that way. But in 451 Fahrenheit, what happens is that they take away your books, which they've already done that anyway. Everything pretty much is digital. And yes, they still have libraries, but really, I mean, it's not that appealing anymore, right, to open a book, unless you're somebody weird like me. I love real books. I had to leave half of them back home. Hopefully somebody will enjoy that. So, you know, you get more meat and potatoes out of books. So, nonetheless, in 451, what they start doing is they take everything away, all the knowledge away. If you notice, they've already taken away children can't even write in cursive. How can you not write your name? You can write in print, but you don't know how to write your signature? How is that? How's that? I won't even get into the rest, but nonetheless, a lot of rights, a lot of reorganization or re-education, if you don't think like that side things, will happen. And it will happen because the new Green Deal was really what was called Agenda 21. That's what it really was. And if you look at what AOC has planned, it really was just sold. Let's put it to you this way. It's going to have the same book, but I'm going to remove this dust cover, pretend it's the wrapping paper. I'm going to wrap this book up again in a different wrapping paper and hand it to you. That's all it is. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And anybody that doesn't want to go along with what they say is going to be very much not liking the other part, you know, of presidencies. So I'd rather listen to my eldest sister yell and scream and want to get clout and want to get people to say, oh, thank you for doing this, thank you so much, when you know that they just want attention, than to have this other stuff where you're not going to have any say. So that's just the way it's going to go. And it's going to be gradual. They're not going to do it all at once. They're not going to do lockdowns all at once. But they're already starting that anyway with COVID. And how do we know that they didn't do that, you know, allow COVID to happen because they wanted to do a lot of that. So anyway, let's see what the spirits want to tell us today. Let's see what we have to look forward to. This is a check-in from Colorado to see, you know, what we should expect. Let's say for the rest of this week. So we have the 5th. Let's see here. We have the 5th of... Oh, okay, well, we already have the 5th, so we're already on Thursday. So we're going to say... We're going to say till Monday the 9th. The 5th through the 9th. Let's see what we can expect. The 5th through the 9th to come to us as people. So this is a general reading, check-in overall with the collective, okay? Let's see what the archangels would like to tell us. Is there anything of hope that they can give us and grant us so that we can maybe feel a little bit more calm? So I'll close off with that, okay? And I'll ask a couple of well, really. I was about to say we're going to ask a couple of questions in reference to the presidency of who's going to win. No, duh. I know my guides, maybe they haven't had sleep either. They're saying it's up in the air. Well, no, duh. We know that. We're not that dumb. We're not that dumb. These cards are so stiff. They're really stiff like cardboard, but I mean, that's good, right? They'll last me like 20 years. We're gonna ask who was going to be president, you dummies. Don't mean to be ugly, but I wasn't going to ask that. Okay. Shuffle the top deck. And again, you guys are always welcome to move ahead when I'm shuffling, because I understand it's boring to shuffle the cards. But we need some messages, some clarity here as a society, a planet as a whole, right? And these dudes scared me in the news, because the reporter said that these dudes were not even Antifa. That these dudes were like saying that they are tearing away from the rest of the America, and that they're not going to be reigned. That there's not going to be a president over them. So pretty much they're trying to do the same thing I guess they did in Oregon, but like when they were trying to do that crazy little like area that they were trying to be in charge of, but unfortunately that one went really bad fast. And the reason it went bad was because people were getting stabbed and shot and killed and stuff. It's one thing you want to secede, right? Like, for example, Texas, you know, it's a republic, so it's got a right to secede at any time. But, it just was weird, man. It's like people don't, I don't know if it's a mental health thing, or if they just really want to be left alone to that degree. I don't know, but I will tell you one thing. A lot of them are millennials, and I'm not trying to cast something down on millennials, but that's the age group between millennials up to 30s, mid-30s. That's it. Most of the people that are causing this craziness, and I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on, but okay. Okay, they're telling me to start with the Weight Rider deck, so that's what I'm gonna do. Let's see what messages they have for us. It's really weird, guys. I hope everybody out there is safe, first of all. I should have started with that. I guess I'm in shock, and like I said, look, I don't even know if I'm all red. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I don't even know if that's because of sunburn. Because, you know, I was driving for so many hours. I don't have any makeup on because I feel like I'm like so red, like sunburned or something. So I didn't put any makeup on. Sorry. But I hope you and your families out there are really safe, and just stay indoors so much as you can. You know, let the crazies be crazy and just be safe, you and your family. Tower moments. Wow. I got this card before I came. This was for Libras. I think there was one other, sign that got this too, but I can't remember. But this Tower moment is coming out again. Tower moment. A very new beginning is coming out. That's the general. Sorry, it's my phone. At least I know that my the internet is working. Now I'm gonna use this one as double-edged. So far we have the Tower. We have a new beginning. Now, if it was on a personal level, remember what I always tell you guys, if it's a one-on-one, you're sitting in front of me and I'm doing a reading for you, then I would say, wow, you have fantastic cards. But because of what's going on, and we're doing this as a nation, like what's going on as a nation, I'm gonna say that, yeah, it is there is a new beginning trying to be birthed, right? But the way it's happening is so abrupt and so destructive. And then the other thing that I can see right off as well is that, In this instance, I am going to say that in some instances there will be deaths. So this change, this radical change is trying to happen. It's almost like a revolution. Excuse me. And I do see that it's going to bring death with it. But I don't see that the death is due to COVID necessarily as much as due to people taking things into their own hands and doing things that maybe they shouldn't be doing. So people will become injured, and possibly die as a result of people's hands. Something of the old, trying to bring something back from the old, something trying to come back. Maybe that could be changing the tide back to the way things were, let's say 50 years ago, changing the tides back to that there was a stronghold, because if you look in the back, there's a tower right there again. That's a stronghold, right? Because strongholds, towers are used as a place of vigilance, right? See how there's a window? So usually in a tower there was a window or a way that you could look out at every direction, north, west, east, south, right? You could look out for danger. Approaching danger. So asking for vigilance, because looks like even if you look at the card again, I'm looking at it again, this card usually means a give and a take. Somebody's giving something very beautiful and sharing, but I feel like, look at the bottom, I feel like they represent the states almost. The states that have been counted and that are being given to someone. And I also feel that in this card, for whatever reason, when I'm touching it, what I'm getting is like a rope, a tug of war. So instead of the normal sense of this card, which is that somebody receives help, gift, etc., I really feel like it feels like there's a tug of war going on. But on the other hand, I feel like one side, and I'll leave this open to you for interpretation, it feels like on one side a lot has already been given. And when I'm saying given, I mean given falsely. And to the other person, it feels like there's a tug of war, like a pulling of teeth to get the votes. I don't know why, but that's what they're showing me. Oh, we have judgment. So I said the 9th. Around the 9th, I want to say that we're going to hear something. Around the 9th of this month, which is a Monday, I feel like we're going to hear something more concrete. Although those lawsuits are going to be cast, but we are going to start hearing something more concrete. So what does that mean? That means that they're going to try to give us a president by the 9th. They're still counting. So they can't do that. They're still counting. I don't care what they say publicly, they're still counting. They're still counting. They're still counting. So that's not right. There's still ballots to count. So yeah, it is going to have to go to the Supreme Court. And that's what I'm seeing. It's not because I'm for one or the other. It doesn't matter to me. You know what matters to me? As an American, having all the citizens be happy and just be at peace, and not having one person maybe die on us, and having the other person come into power as president that is super into radical Islam, as opposed to, you know, the other person that maybe is flamboyant and a blowhard and a bragabart. I don't care, but I just want peace. I don't want anybody getting killed. I don't want anybody getting harmed. It's not that important. It's not that crucial. The only people that think it's crucial are the top 3%ers. They're the only ones that really have anything to get out of this, because if you stop and think about it, that's how much our vote counts. There's still no president. So they need to count these votes. That's why he is going to push that it goes to the Supreme Court. It's not even that just he's going to push. It's that they're going to have to get involved, because it's going to be that much of a deadlock or gridlock, okay, for each vote. That's horrible. I wish I had better news, but the truth is the truth. The powers that be are giving very, very heavily. Like, let's say, have you ever gone through the lunch line in school? I did. I did as a teacher and I did as a student. I can recall that we would go through the lunch line. If the lunch lady liked you, she would give you more, right? She'd give you a bigger healthy helping of whatever it was, whether it was corn, whether it was fruit, whether it was chicken tenders or enchiladas or whatever you were having, pizza, whatever. If she liked you, she'd give you a bigger helping. So that's what I see. I don't know why it's happening that way, except that Black Moon Lilith rose at the same time that this all is happening. And Black Moon Lilith is, like I keep explaining, it's not just the color of her skin. Lilith is well known for being a devil, a demonic being. So although she was supposedly, Adam's first wife, obviously, demons, for those that have read up, on what demons do, are not something that is a positive. So that's the star we're under right now. That's the energies that we're under. And those people that practice only dark arts are really incorporating on that. As a matter of fact, it's if you don't understand that they've moved people out of the way to put Biden in there, there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason everybody gets utilized the way they do. Okay, so let's see what they have to tell us with this other deck, which is the Witch's Tarot. Five of Wands, ongoing strife, ongoing issues. Look at that. And isn't that extraordinary? Blue and red. And I just talked about the magic, the dark arts being used. Now, every practitioner knows that you'd use both black and white. Actually, there's so many colors that it would turn your head. But what I'm talking about is how they're manipulating the astrology, how they're manipulating the dark magic, how they're manipulating the people that they want to put in place. And indeed, in place they want to put them, because they're the Sun card. So somebody has a lot of luck during this presidency as a candidate. Somebody's having a lot of luck. A lot of luck. Let's take a look. And the reason is, again, the High Priestess. The High Priestess, there's a lot of magic behind this time. We don't really have a say. They do. So they're going to fight to the bitter end. Hillary didn't get in. And she didn't get in because people didn't want that sort of energy, right, in the White House. And so they looked to something different. But then the something different wanted to wipe all of them out and their kind, because they wanted to lift the veil off of people's eyes and not, this is why you're poor. Don't be poor anymore. And the other side is saying, no, they're the ones that are making you poor. Listen to us. We want to make you rich by giving you free money. Actually, I'm getting way beyond what I should be doing here. America is a corporation. You have a birth certificate. You're born in America, you get a birth certificate. You get that birth certificate, your parent takes it to the Social Security office. With both of those, you are now a legal owner. You are a percentage holder in the corporation of America. Please read. Please research. Don't listen to me. You can look up the videos of people calling into the SSI and SSN, as some people call it in different states, using their SSI or SSN number and saying, hey, I got a bill for my rent. I need a check to be written, and the form of, and the amount of, and I need it to be written, and I need my bill, I need my loans to be paid in full. I need it paid in full. And in the beginning of the phone calls that they would make, some of the folks would give them a hard time. They'd be like, we don't know what you're talking about. I think you're calling the wrong place. And the guys would be like, no, I know what I'm doing. And they were filming it, you know, the conversation and everything. I know what I'm doing. Get me to the right department. So they would, you know, give them some flack for maybe a good 20 minutes. And then they would send them to the other department. And the other department would ask them where they wanted it to be mailed or who it was they wanted to pay off. So there's a lot of things that are going to be coming out. Maybe this is one of them, or maybe not. This has been out for a while. I'm just revamping, you know, retwisting this, because it's already been out. I do a lot of research. I don't do just listening to CNN or CNBC or whatever it is. I do my own research on the web, because you need to have your eyes wide open. That's including your third eye, and to have the wisdom to discern what's really going on. And I mean, I saw that as I arrived in Colorado, when he almost had all the votes to win. And this other guy that with COVID and everything, he went all out and did all these big, huge rallies, and his wouldn't move. But the other guys kept going up higher and higher and higher. And the first one to get to 270 wins. What a coinkydink. Like I said, it's not a matter of I want Trump or I want Biden. It's, we're Americans. We need to do what's fair and right. They're not working with fair and right. They're working with a lot of magic. Lots and lots and lots of magic. Whereas, I don't know if you guys have noticed that Trump, the last portion of maybe the last year and a half, has gotten closer and closer to God. He prays. He allows people to pray over him. He put Jerusalem back, you know, the temple, so to speak. And they gave the Israelis, you know, the Israelites back their home, you know, their rightful home. You can look at it a lot of different ways. But he was a catalyst of sorts. He was a catalyst of sorts. Whether he's to remain as a president or not, it doesn't matter. He was a catalyst. He's got a lot of people working undercover. All the best witches and warlocks in America and beyond, even the Emerald Isles, are working with this dark energy to get that person what he wants. And it's what they want is Agenda 21. They want to have full control. That's why 5G, that's why the towers, that's why the cameras, that's why everything. And the way I tell people is this: I don't care that they're there. I do care that they may or may not cause cancer. But I don't care if they're there because, or facial recognition, because if I'm not doing anything wrong, I really don't care. So I'm one of those people that doesn't care. But that doesn't mean that, they can't be watching you, It's even in your Xbox, it's the cameras and everything. Okay, Alexa, laughing and turning on at will. Siri, in the middle of my store shopping spree, turns on and says, can you say that again? And it's like, dude, I wasn't even talking to you, and you were not even, I didn't even have to press a button and you turn on. So there's just so much. Oh, okay. I'm only going to do 3 of these cards. So what they're saying is success is coming, Ace of Cups, and there will be a change. So things will go back to being normalized. Now, they're not telling us when, but they are telling us that there will be success. There will be a successful outcome for the presidency, which, obviously they're going to have to decide one way or the other, right? But it looks, if you look at it, I'm looking at it, and it looks like almost like a medallion almost, and so like a badge of honor of some sort. It looks crazy. So there is a new beginning. So wow, a lot of water, a lot of flow. So things will start flowing again in a positive way. And there's change that's coming out of this. So, okay, if you look at the yin and the yang, right? Look at the yin and the yang. There's 2. And you could say they're different. And the reason I'm saying they're different is because look at the white part of the yin and yang. The dot is on the opposite side, and the same thing goes with the dark part of it. It's on the, so there's a change trying to happen, okay? And the serpent has a lot of power. Serpents have a power to hypnotize as well as to strike at the right time. So the success comes in striking at the right time. I don't know who they're talking about that is going to win, etc., but let's take a look. So Spirit, we need to know. We're not going to ask who's going to win because we've already seen that that's up in the air. One person will have success, obviously. What I want to know is this unrest going to stop soon? They're saying yes, but it is up to a lot of the youth to stop being, to stop feeling so disenchanted, because that's what's causing them to feel that they need to go out and create a ruckus. And it looks like they're traveling from place to place. Like they're sending out groups of people for some reason to start issues. So it's almost like, let's say, that I didn't come here from Texas to live. I came here to just be a bad actor in all of this. Something like that. I don't understand that, but they must have their reasons. I'm not laughing at the person. I'm laughing because of the cat. Okay, so remember I gave my prediction that Trump was going to win. It's still true. He was supposed to win. But then everything started going bad for him.
And he kind of looks like that, right? But why I'm laughing is they're trying to knock his tiara off his head. That's why they're doing it. So it's not that he didn't get the votes. It's that they're making sure the votes are not being counted because they want to knock his tiara off. That's why I was laughing, because that's so like him, right? He has a tiara. Wow. We may end up with Biden being our president after all. Look at all the black. What did I say? All the black magic that's being used. All the black arts are being used in his favor. What people don't understand is, and these two look exactly identical, right? This one is maybe a little bit, you could say a more furry collar, right, around there. Oh, really, the Queen of England. Why would the Queen of England want to help them? Trump apparently, he's too ostentatious. So even the Queen of England is helping to make sure who gets put at the rightful place. Now, let me tell you how funny that is. Again, I do a lot of research. As a practitioner myself, and somebody that was born Gypsy, Rom is the proper word. Not Romanian, Rom, R-O-M. That, I've always told my husband, was an ideal place for me to move to England. Because in England, witchcraft is legal. You can practice without anybody ever coming at you and saying that you shouldn't be practicing witchcraft. It's perfectly legal there. They made it legal eons ago. So, very interesting. So I think that there's a strong possibility that although I saw Trump winning, that Biden may end up our president, because they have to have, right now the feminine is supposed to be in power. That's why it's funny that the alignment has come into Black Moon Lilith, the alignment of the feminine aspect of the goddess. However, dark energy, meaning anger, resentment, pain, suffering, I'm going to backstab you, I'm going to get you kind of energy. So it's the angry feminine, the feminine that's been scorned, the feminine that's been used, the feminine that's been hurt, the feminine that will use that negative energy charge and turn it against you, is what's out there. So because of that, that's why it's that nobody understands that. That's what's happening. That's why all the violence, that's why all the people are getting hurt in the streets, that's why all anarchy, whatever you want to call it. And it's not just here in America, it's everywhere. It's because it's planetary wise, the energy, that's the energy that's surrounding us right now. So one selling themselves as look at me, I'm fantastic, I'm fabulous, right? The other opponent selling themselves as, I'm innocent, I wouldn't do that, I would never do that to anybody, I'm very loving, love me, you can trust me. So they have very, very different agendas. Very different agendas.
Can I honestly say that Trump loves America? Yeah, I think he does love America, and he tried his best to clean up the swamp, as he calls it. Corruption is what it's really called, and people getting rich off of, you know, 5 and dime salaries that is unfathomable because of the fact that they don't pay you that much money. It's who you know, it's who you sell secrets to, it's who you are willing to do, you know, the you rub my back and, you know, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine kind of deals. And that's how people get where they are. That's where the big money comes in. That's where the real money comes in. So no, that's not the way that it's gonna pan out. It's gonna pan out that whoever they want in office is gonna be in office, and not who necessarily the people want. Because as you notice, yes, they're counting the votes, but the votes only count per that state, and the state only counts like one vote, 3 votes, or 16 votes. So what a coinkydink, he got all the bigger voted, the bigger I don't know what it's called, but the accumulated vote per that particular state, because I don't understand how that works that if they tabulate all the voting, all the votes that people do. I don't understand how that works, that the electoral vote is what really counts. So you can have 10,000 votes, but it only equates to 1 for that one state, whatever, or 100,000 votes, but it only equates to 1 vote for that state. So I don't pretend to know government that well. I'm a blowhard, so I prefer to stay out of government issues, because if you get me started, I will do videos like this and I may lose you guys. I don't want to lose you guys, but I'm just trying to put things into perspective a little bit and see if there's any hope at the end of the rainbow for us. You know, I don't have humidity up here in Colorado, but I have flyaway hair and it's tickling me. Okay, so we are going to end the top portion with the last card, which is the universe. So there's a lot of energies being pulled in, and it is a great awakening for every one of us. Everybody's life will change in some way, shape, or form. I want to put this card very close to the screen, as close as I can. There's a bull, there's a ram, there's a man, and then I think I could easily say either a phoenix or a eagle. But look at how the waters are coming out in different ways. You see that for the bull? Sorry for my nails. 1, 2, 3. Look, it's even coming out of his nose. All the, you could say BS, so I won't curse. All the BS is coming out even from his mouth and his nose. Look at for the ram, mouth and his nose. Look at for the man, mouth and his nose. Look at for the eagle or the phoenix, out of the mouth. So we're all going to be affected by this election in some way, shape, or form. Not one of us is going to remain the same. Not one of us is going to have a life that remains the same. What does that tell me? That tells me our lives will never be the same. No matter what happens in this election, our lives will never be the same again. So whatever you were doing right before this election, think back on that, because that was the last time that you would see your life or the earth, the planet, our in its society as we knew it before. We're changing big time. And some of it's going to be really good because of technology that's coming in, and some of it is not going to be good. So in a way, why the Green New Deal, or Agenda 21 as it was originally called, is feasible or workable for a lot of people are the people that are not technologically inclined. I'm one of them. I'm sitting in front of you working a computer, and but I'm teachable. I'm not saying I'm not, but what I'm saying is I'm not a teacher of technology. And so for those that maybe cannot in their seniorhood, or those that just can't grasp that part of the brain, to learn, perhaps would be better off being given a stipend, an amount of money to live on. Because the truth is that once this technology takes off, it's going to pay those that have made it and have been able to learn it on a totally different platform, monetary wise, than the rest of society. And so AI and working, high tech is going to be phenomenal, but at the same time it's going to go over a lot of our heads, which is due to the fact that we were not born with computers in our hands. I wasn't born with this in my hand. My granddaughter was, but I am not. So, for reasonings of those kinds. And those of us that want to learn, that want to, continue and progress, then, that it's going to be okay. But for those that, what if they're not teachable, or what if they don't want to learn, or what if that's not their cup of tea, or that's not their calling? So in that instance, yeah, okay, I can see where, giving them that type of money per month or whatever. But then that's awful, because I know that to a certain extent, conveyor belts, etc., and factories already do a lot of work for us, grinding meats and things of that nature. But even, putting our Coca-Cola in the cans and sealing it. But it just seems so far removed from humanity to have them flipping our burgers and doing other things as well. So we'll see what happens. And this is going to be a progression, 5, 10, 20 years. I don't see this happening all at once. So please don't get scared and think I'm losing my job today. But the things that they're trying to implement are pretty much to make America look like China, where there's nothing but high rises and little to no houses, individual houses, because don't you know that's wasteful. But then again, that is the American dream. So let's see what the angels have to do with the closing off of this particular reading. And yeah, I was reading into this because what got me started a long time ago of knowing what was coming ahead of time was another book. I can't remember what it was called right now, but through it I learned how to do activations for DNA, and it also told us what was to come. So I was just trying to read more about this, because to us, to some of us, the 2012 was from the Mayan calendar, since it supposedly ended there. It was supposed to be for a lot of people, it was supposed to be the end of the world. And then for other people, they literally thought that a new earth was going to be, it was going to come, and we were going to be taken from this earth and transported to the other earth. And then a lot of other people, like myself, come lately, have started to believe that the energy shifts have taken you to higher dimensions, to where, like I told you, that at the beginning of this reading, with the moon and the sun being in conjunction at the same time within the sky at the same level at the same time was something like shocking to me, because I'd never seen it quite that way. Although I had seen it in the sky, but I thought it was either my imagination, or I thought it was maybe another planet, or I thought there was so many other things it could be, right? But yeah, it was weird. Weird in a way that just let me know how much change this time frame that we're in, these years, these months that have transpired from January to now, from 2008 to 2012 up to now. It's been a great awakening for a lot of people, and there's got to be darkness in order for light to exist. There's got to be a yin and a yang to everything. So because of that, God always allows that to exist. They've tried the civilizations. We're not the first civilization, obviously. They've tried other civilizations where they had rules that were much like Fahrenheit 451. They didn't work. Why? Because the awakening always happens. Somebody always awakens, and then there you go. I call them the rebels, but they're not really the rebels. They're just the people that remembered. It's just like our birthing. When we come through the canal, our DNA is cut so that we don't remember who we are. We don't remember, so that we don't get confused, so that we don't get off track, so that we have to work. But the people whose most DNA is intact, those are the brilliant people that, like magic, everything seems to come to their fingertips without even trying. They don't have to try hard. They don't know what suffering is. Everything's given to them because they came in with their DNA intact. So what I did learn is how to reconnect people's DNA. That makes me very happy to be a Metatronic activation practitioner, because that helps me to help others to help themselves to get out of life what they need. But this is going to be a life changer. I don't see that we're ever going to be the same ever again past this election. We just won't. They're just like, we can just say goodbye to most of our traditions. We can say goodbye to most of our way of life the way it was before. So let's see what the angels have to give us during this time of this election period. So the first thing they say is the guardian of an angel of service, okay? I offer the best of my talents and goodwill, making my place in the universe a better one. So that's how we can make things a little less stressful for everyone involved, is how can you be of service to another? How can you be of service to yourself or your own family, your church, your village, so to speak? They say it takes a village. How can you be of service? How can you give to someone else? How can you lend your fortitude, your strength, your courage, right? Wisdom. The next one says creativity. So the next angel is talking about creativity. This is service. So this one is stating creative energy flows for me the more I choose to express my feelings. And so what positive things can we bring out of this? Will it make our families closer? Will it bring our units closer to us, our friends that are like family? Will it make us want to be better people on the inside and outside so they match? You know? And this one is the Angel of Discernment. Through the grace of the divine, I am able to know the right path. So discernment, you know, what does that mean? That means complete understanding. Do you know your role, your new role even? Will you know your new role? Is your new role to do absolutely nothing? Is your new role to try to help in some way? Is your new role to wait on the wisdom of God concerning this election and how our life is going to turn out after this election? Or is your role to help those that are scared, that are frightened, that are maybe not feeling as assured as you are, to give them, you know, a pat on the back or a self-assuring nod that everything's going to be okay? We're resilient. God allowed Christ to be a human for a reason, to show humans that we're resilient and we can take things that a lot of people can't take, or a lot of beings, I should say, can't take. So this too shall pass. The part that we need to remember and remain cognizant of is that when this passes, we're all still Americans. We're all still human beings. We're all still children of God, Goddess. And we should all still love each other no matter what. No matter what. A letter is not enough to divide us, whether it's an R or a D. It's not enough to divide us. We need to remain well seated and understand that we need to just be loving and still be the same person that we were before on the inside, even though our outer world is changing dramatically. So I'm so sorry I'm talking low. One of the reasons, again, is because I do have neighbors that are next door. Hope you can hear me well. And the other is my sinuses are killing me because of all the dust. I really never had an idea how dusty. Oh, wow. By the way, I forgot to mention, I got to see tumbleweeds from Dumas, Texas to Puebla, Colorado. Tumbleweeds kept passing in front of the truck as I was on the road. And also, to leave you guys with this, if y'all travel to Colorado, take the 18-hour drive. If you are traveling from San Antonio, do not travel the 15-hour drive. That was the most treacherous thing ever. And I have no idea why, but their roads are very unkept. I mean, even in the parking lot that I have to get out of this extended stay hotel that I'm in, and into the next parking lot to make my way out into the street, there's a crater, not a pothole. Texas has potholes. Colorado has craters. So I don't know what the work is that I'm supposed to be doing here, and I'm talking about in a metaphysical way as a healer or advisor. I don't know, but all of this was already preordained. So I wasn't supposed to go to Australia to be with my husband. Wasn't supposed to go to India to meet him over there for this appointment. This was already preordained by God, and I'm like you, not sure why, because this just happened really fast, and I just thought, wow, this is all happening really fast, and it's falling into place really quickly. So this is serendipity. Oh yeah, it was more than I knew, because like I said, those I was gonna say videos, those visions that I had no idea. I had no earthly idea
that they had anything to do with Colorado. Never dawned on me. It never dawned on me. So, anyway, guys, we are family. And even if it's just 42 of us right now, I hope that more family will join us along the way. If you guys want to leave a comment, if you need prayer, if you need hope, I'm here. This is going to pass. This is not going to define us as people. It may define us as Americans, and it may change how the world looks at America, but I don't care about that. I just care about my beautiful, loving brothers and sisters in America and elsewhere. I just want, if anything, I pray daily to God that whatever it was that COVID was engineered to be, that it would be suffice already, and that it would be clearing, and we could get back to being healthy, whatever purpose it served. I hope it served a good purpose besides to depopulate, because a lot of people lost very important people that were very much loved and are missed. So I'm praying that if you need any help, if you need any, words of wisdom, if you need positive energy sent your way, you just reach out and just put in the comments, and we're all happy to pray for you. We're all God's children, no matter how we look at God, because to me, God is androgynous. That's why I always say God is male, female. There always is a father and mother. So that's the way I choose to look at God. But I don't frown on anybody that looks at God differently. That's for you and your God to decide, okay? So anyway, I did want to make this video, and I did want to post it because I miss you guys. And I wanted to do a check-in, universal energy feeling wise, what's going on. And hopefully once I finish the 2 things that are of importance here in Colorado before I start my new job, then I can start doing my readings, individual readings for the astrological signs. I'm so sorry. I am sleepy, like I said. 1, I'm still recuperating from the road. 2, it's 8 o'clock in Texas, in Central Time, and here it's earlier than that, and I already feel like I am tuckered in, and I feel like a bear that needs to be hibernating. But we're all in this together, guys, and always know that you can pray to the archangels, especially Archangel Michael and Metatron for protection. You could pray to Archangel Gabriel for wisdom. You can pray to Uriel as well for wisdom, and you can pray to Archangel Raphael for healing. This is something that we're all in together. It's not just one of us. We're all in this together, and so we're a planetary family. Although I will leave y'all with these funny anecdotes or occurrences since I've been here. So, on the one hand, I had to get a storage. The reason I got a storage is because I'm going to be in this extended stay until I am getting the apartment that I'll be in, the home that I'll be in, right? So I had to put the stuff in storage and turn in the U-Haul. Never in my life, well, except for the time I was in Mississippi, my daughter and I was bringing her back from Virginia. She was leaving the military due to an injury. And
we decided to go to Elvis's house because, gosh darn, everybody loves Elvis the Pelvis. So I was like, sure, I'll go to Graceland with you. So we parked the U-Haul, we parked, the car, etc. And yeah, we got out, we went to Graceland. That was just mind-boggling, the way that Elvis's mansion was and all that. Then right next door they had a restaurant, so we hadn't eaten. So I told my daughter, well, you know what, let's go. I don't care what they serve, I'm hungry before we get on the road again. Let's just go ahead and go. So we went into the restaurant, we sat down, and I'm Latin, and I am an American Latin. I'm laughing because the lady that was going to serve us was very dark complexion, which that has nothing to do with the price of beans. But she would not serve us. She wouldn't give us menus. She would not take our order. So I told my daughter, let's go. Let's just go ahead and go. So Mississippi was the only time, and y'all see how light complected I am, that I've ever experienced discrimination before in America, up until now. Yesterday, I was asked to sign a contract of what would happen to my stuff if I got deported. So I looked at the guy in his face and I said, are you afraid of getting deported? He said, no. I said, well, then why would I be? I said, let me see. You'd have to first go to Spain, dig up my ancestors, and then make your way back to North India, and then let's see which place you're going to deport me to. So that was just really, I was flabbergasted, right? That's a nice way of putting it. So instead of cursing him out, what I said was, the lawyers made you do it? And I just kept saying deported, and I kept laughing my ass off. And I couldn't help it, because the thought of me being deported somewhere, first of all, it never occurred to me that someone could try to deport me. Secondarily, where the hell would they deport me to? Yeah, okay, I speak Spanish, but my Spanish, I had to go to college to learn to speak Spanish. I could understand my grandmother because she spoke in Spanish and I would answer in English. The Pantoja side of my family comes from a province in Spain named after them. You can look that up. I'm not shitting you. The Cisneros were burned out twice during the revolution, the Mexican Revolution, because they were on the side of the people, and Zapata and the other general. And so that's what forced them to leave Mexico. But Cisneros is not a Native American name. Not like silver fox or gray fox or whatever. White running water. I mean, my grandfather had blue eyes, and then his father had green eyes, and then my grandmother on her side, and this is my mother's side, she had green eyes, and my mother had jade green eyes. I have brown eyes because I am a Rom. My father was a gypsy. So where the hell they would send me, I don't know. But I just thought I would tell y'all that was my reception that I received here in Colorado. Then shortly after, the best thing happened. I met somebody that I think we're going to be friends. She brought this to me, and this is my treat for making it all the way from San Antonio, Texas to Bromsfield, Colorado. You guys have no idea how hard it was. So literally the twist, 15-hour drive. I think that the 18-hour drive would probably be a lot safer, but I already did it and I'm here and I'm glad and I'm in heaven. I found obviously a place that is going to take care of me while I'm living here, and going to my extended stay now, and I need a hot bath after unloading the U-Haul. I need some rest. So I will see y'all later, okay? This is Ella from Ella's Ancient Ways Tarot, coming to you from Colorado. So that nice young lady that you saw there, the waitress, because that's her job. I'm not calling her a waitress because that's her job, okay? Her name is Vidi. She's my new friend. She is my new friend. So she was so beautiful, not only because she's young. Okay, we're all beautiful when we're young, right? But also she's from, I believe, New Mexico, from what she was saying, and transplant here as well. And we hit it off right away, and I was telling her that I just drove in from San Antonio, and she saw that I was drinking my margarita frozen. Love my frozen margaritas. And I know, Liz, you don't like Tipsy Tarot. I wasn't doing Tipsy Tarot that night due to Liz saying she didn't like Tipsy Tarot because my eyes went black. So nonetheless, she and I, you know, we hit it off really well. And she asked me, you know, do you take shots? And I said, por supuesto, of course. So she brought a shot over for herself and for me, and we took a shot together. And so I will be seeing her again. Had the best meal. They brought in a big old molcajete. For those that don't speak Spanish, it's a big old pomace. It's round and then it's dipped in like a bow. It's a big pomace where you grind. Usually at home you will grind all of your spices before you put them into be cooked, right? With your meats or soups or whatever you're making. But it had the most succulent meats in there, and it had onion, and it had poblano pepper, it had cheese, and then oh my god, it was just delicious. It was like me estaba chupando los dedos. I was sucking on my fingers and my head, you know. It was so good. I even brought some, you know, to eat later because it was so much food, but it was excellent. So anyway, it's nice to have met a friendly face, and to also to have gained a friend so fast, and to know that not everybody is going to be bitchy. Let's just put it that way, bitchy. But I did learn something about Colorado people as well. They like to give you the evil eye when you're parked and they feel like they can't go around you, or you opened your door and they wanted to maybe open their door. They have a weird way of, and I'm not going to do that back to them because then I'd need Botox. So I decided that I'm going to let them, you know, do these glaring looks that I guess are supposed to mean to you that you're not doing the right thing. Learning the Colorado etiquette anyway. And so those are my first perceptions of Colorado, is that there are, just like anywhere else, there's going to be rude people, obnoxious people, entitled people that want to deport you for no apparent reason. And the mother had a thick accent. I don't know where she's from, but she did not look regular white. And then on the phone, when she was giving me directions to get to the U-Haul, I thought she was from India. So do you understand why I'm mentioning this? People have this way of being
races or being or putting you in a box or putting into this statistic. Dude, just because my name is Gadiparthi, I may get deported. So you want to know who you should send it to? You have no idea the thoughts and the beautiful words that wanted to come out of my mouth. But I was a beautiful Southern Texas belle, and I wasn't about to say it to them. But I can think it. So, nonetheless, this has been long-winded, and I need to get in bed because I don't need to lose my voice, and I need to get better from my sinuses. And maybe drink another beer, I don't know. I deserve it. I did a lot of driving. I can tell you one thing. I'm going to leave y'all with this because I love to leave y'all with positives no matter how bad or how hard things seem. If somebody at this age of maturity can decide that they're not done with life and can get up and travel and get up and move somewhere else and get up and make huge changes, why can't you? If that's what you want, if that's what's in your heart, why can't you? Don't write the end of your story just yet. I mean, I know that certain people in my life thought that I was going to live and die in Texas, etc. But I always saw myself as traveling because I love adventure. I mean, I loved living in Germany, for example, because I could go to France. I went to France in my car. I got in my car, I got my little map book. We didn't have GPS, peoples. Can you imagine? Ella goes to Europe and goes all over Europe. So I got in my car, got the trusty little atlas. Oh, hell yeah, I left Germany. And I went from Germany, I went to Belgium. From Belgium, I went to France. So I went to Paris. And then from Paris, I went to Seville, Paris, or France, I should say. Seville, France. From Seville, France, I went to Amsterdam, to Holland, to the Netherlands, and then went back to Germany where I lived. Because people didn't want to go all the way to Spain, which was where my target was, because I wanted to go to the land of my father and my ancestors. But what I have found lately is that's not even my original land, because I'm wrong. So anyway, don't write the end of your story yet. You don't know what the story is. So if your heart is telling you to go somewhere or start somewhere else or change your job or start a new family or to get married or to get a divorce because that's not the right person you're with and you've known that for a long time, yeah, it's scary as shit, but do it anyway. You think it wasn't scary for me to drive on those curves? And I was holding on so tight to that freaking steering wheel. I kept saying, God, one or two things are going to happen if you don't bless me. One, the steering wheel itself is going to disintegrate because I've got the grip of death on this wheel. Or two, I'm going to veer off the road anyway. And so then you're going to take me up into your arms already anyway. So one or the other is going to happen. That's it. My palms were perspiring. I had the AC on. The grip of death. Probably could have done some waxing to somebody's chest. You know what got me through? I went into the military. It scared the shit out of me. Boot camp scared the shit out of me. I don't like yelling. I don't like people yelling at me. The only time I start yelling is when I get so pissed because I've had it up to here with you. You've gotten me to that point. Other than that, I don't yell, I don't scream, I don't raise my voice. But if you've gotten me to that point, it's because you've gotten me to that point, and it takes a lot to come back down. So I started thinking about that. I went through the military, and I could do that. So if I could do that, I could stay on the road and not veer off into a ravine, because that's how steep they are. You can do this. You can do anything you want to do. And right now, this time frame, these two gentlemen that are fighting for power right now, they're showing us just that. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can be whoever you want. You can go from a personality that's a TV or a entertainer personality to a president, or you can be a politician and go and become a preacher. You can become a housewife, from being an executive all your life. You know, you can become the husband of the year when you before were, you know, the biggest male hoe ever. You can do whatever you want. We're in a new era. We're in a new dimension. Whatever you do with your life, make it count, but live your life. This may or may not be my last stop. I may stop here. I may go to Seattle one day. I don't know. We'll see. But what I can tell you guys is that for right now, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I know that because my visions told me. I don't know what Denver holds for me. I have no idea. But there's something that I'm supposed to do. And it was huge enough for God Goddess to get into my head at night when I hardly sleep to begin with, because there was talking to me. And show me those canals and show me those shanties. I felt my heart was wanting to come out. I didn't cry the whole time here, and I thought I was going to, because I'm the biggest wuss when it comes to emotions. I'm a Libra. I'm a real Libra, and real Libras feel things deeply. So I cry when people hurt, or when people hurt me. I didn't cry. But when I saw those shanties, and they were exactly the way that vision had shown me, yeah, my eyes welled up with tears, and then I thought of the curves, and I said, oh shit, I can't do that. I can think about these people and wish them better days and better lives, but I can't cry because one tear and I'm over the ravine. So the moral of this video is there's always something worse around the corner. Somebody else is always having it worse than you. Be grateful. I love you guys. Next time it'll be for one of the signs that I do videos on, and yeah, then we will have our real time. But look, my plants, Diva, my plants are with me. I got to get the other two out of the car before they croak. Actually, there's 3 left in the car. My every joint is hurting. I packed the truck, unloaded the truck, unloaded the car into this place in a matter of 4 days. So don't judge me, people, if I'm a little bit off kilt energy wise. I love you guys, and I hope that this served you in some way. Please know that we're all in this together. Don't let this get you down. You know, this energy. Just know that we're family no matter what. No matter what, we're going to get through all of this nonsense, through all of this he said, she said, through all of this I'm better than one-upping. They've made the presidency about themselves and not about the people. So then let them battle out and let them do whatever they're going to do. And you just keep on doing you and keep being the people that you are, and be safe and keep your family safe. And I love you guys, and I send you nothing but positive energy and blessings, and I pray nothing but good and positive things for you guys. Okay? Thank you again for joining me. I'm sorry I couldn't do it yesterday. I was exhausted, and having problems sleeping because there's the time adjustment. My body wants to go to sleep right now, and then getting used to getting up so early to go to work. Well, now my body doesn't want to stay in bed past 8 o'clock. I wanted to rest it to where I could feel, acclimated. But maybe that'll come in time. My body has to get used to this mountain time. Okay. Love you. Bye, guys. See you soon.